You know deep down that something has to change before this year ends. Not next year, not later, now, because if you don't do it now, you'll carry the same problems into 2026, same habits, same mindset, same results, and you'll look back feeling frustrated again. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. Do these 5 things before 2026 begins, is your reset. These are 5 real-life actions that can shift your entire direction. No hype, just straight talk. You're not here to play it safe anymore. You're here to take back your time, to take yourself seriously, to stop doing what drains you and start doing what builds you. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait for motivation. You just need to decide that this time you're not ending another year feeling disappointed. You're going to make yourself proud, starting now. These 5 things will help you do it. Stay with this. You'll thank yourself later. Chapter 1. Stop waiting and fix what's clearly not working. You know, it's a strange thing how long people will wait to fix something they already know is broken. A person will stay in a routine they hate, around people who don't support them, doing things that make them miserable, and they'll say they're waiting for the right moment, waiting for a better time, waiting until the pressure disappears. But let me tell you something that changed my life. There is no perfect time. There is only now. If something in your life is clearly not working, it's not going to magically fix itself. Problems don't go away just because we wish they would. Discomfort doesn't disappear just because we pretend it's not there. Whether it's your health, your habits, your income, your mindset, or the people around you, if something isn't helping you grow, it's pulling you backward. And 2026 is not going to wait for you to wake up. The days will keep passing. The weeks will keep flying by. And the question is, will you still be stuck in the same place 6 months from now? Or will you finally take charge? You can't improve your life by tolerating what breaks you. You can't get ahead by putting up with things that drag you down. You already know what's not working. You feel it. You live with it every day. It frustrates you. It drains you. And deep inside, you've already decided it needs to change. But deciding is not enough. You've got to act. You've got to stop waiting. When something in your life feels wrong, you feel it in your body, your energy goes down, your confidence weakens, you start questioning yourself. That's not just discomfort, that's your life telling you something is off. And the longer you ignore it, the more it grows. That job you can't stand, it's not just a job, it's a slow decline of your self-worth. That routine that keeps you tired and distracted, it's not just time management, it's your future slipping through your fingers. That habit you keep repeating, it's not small, it's holding you hostage. You know where your energy leaks. You know the conversations that leave you feeling empty. You know the actions that give you regret instead of results. So why are you still in it? Why are you letting another day pass without fixing it? You don't need permission to take your life seriously. You don't need the world to clap for you before you decide to clean up your situation. You don't need a guarantee. What you need is the courage to start fixing the things you've been avoiding. If it doesn't make you stronger, it's making you weaker, and you already know which one it is. This is where people lose time. They overthink. They analyze everything. They wait until they feel ready, and they lose months, sometimes years, stuck in the exact same spot. I've watched good people waste their lives waiting for clarity, when what they really needed was action. If something is broken, fix it. If a door is closed, move on. If something is costing you your peace, it's already too expensive, and you don't fix it all at once. That's where most people get overwhelmed. You fix one thing, you take one step, and that step leads to another. You stop making excuses for what's clearly not good for you. That's when real life begins. It's like this. If you walked into your house and saw water leaking from the ceiling, would you sit down and wait to see if it stops? Or would you get up and do something about it? You'd move fast. You'd take it seriously. So why treat your own life any differently? You already know what's leaking. Your time, your focus, your energy, your belief in yourself. And you already know what's causing the leak. It's the habits you haven't changed. It's the standards you keep lowering. It's the people you keep chasing just to feel accepted. Fixing it doesn't require you to be perfect. It just requires you to be honest. Some people stay stuck for years because they lie to themselves. They convince themselves things are not that bad. But deep down they know they're settling. They know they're giving away their potential. And the hardest part is not admitting it. It's facing it. But that's what growth demands. Growth demands you to face what's broken and fix it, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it takes time. No one is going to do it for you. No one is coming to change your habits. No one is coming to reset your mindset. That's your job. That's your responsibility. And the best part is, you're fully capable of doing it. You just have to decide that the pain of staying stuck is no longer an option. Every successful person you've ever admired, every disciplined person, every confident person, every strong person, they all had a moment where they stopped pretending, stopped making excuses, and started fixing what was broken. They didn't wait for New Year's Day. They didn't wait for a better mood. They looked around, took a breath, and said, enough. That's what this year is asking from you. Not more waiting, not more planning, more doing. If your health is declining, fix it. Start eating better. Start walking. Start sleeping on time. It doesn't have to be a major shift, just a consistent one. One decision a day that honors your body. If your mindset is negative, fix it. Start replacing complaints with solutions. Speak better to yourself. Choose discipline over distraction. Start reading. Start journaling. Start thinking clearly again. If you're around people who don't respect your growth, fix it. Stop trying to please everyone. Start respecting your energy. You don't owe your peace to people who constantly break it. If your time is scattered and wasted, fix it. Stop living on autopilot. Set a routine. Put your phone away when it's time to work. Say no to anything that doesn't move you forward. If your goals are unclear, fix it. Write them down. Keep them in front of you. Make them real. Then take a small action every day toward them. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start moving. And listen, change is not about shame. It's not about beating yourself up for what you didn't do. It's about owning your future. It's about saying, I've had enough of this version of me. I'm building better. That's not weakness. That's strength. Because the truth is, you don't get stronger by doing what's easy. You get stronger by doing what's necessary. And what's necessary right now is to stop waiting and fix what's clearly not working. Before 2026 shows up and you look back and say, I could have done more. Don't let that be your story. Fix it now, because time doesn't wait, and neither should you. Chapter 2. Decide what you want and stop being unsure. Most people don't move forward in life because they haven't made a clear decision about what they really want. They think they're working hard. They think they're busy, but deep inside, they're still unsure. They haven't taken the time to sit down and say, this is what I want my life to look like. And that lack of clarity is why they feel stuck. When you don't know what you want, every path seems like an option. You say yes to things you should walk away from. You chase things that aren't even meant for you. You spend your energy on people and projects that have nothing to do with your future. And you wake up tired, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally tired. Not because you're lazy, but because your mind is scattered, your focus is split, and your direction is missing. You have to decide. You can't keep living in the middle. One foot in, one foot out. One day motivated, the next day confused. That's not progress, that's a cycle. And cycles don't change your life, only decisions do. When you're unsure, you hesitate, you question yourself, you overthink, you compare, and when you keep doing that long enough, your confidence starts to drop, because deep down you know you're capable of more, but your actions don't reflect it, and that gap between your potential and your reality becomes painful. Clarity gives you power. When you know exactly what you want, your life gets simpler. You stop wasting time. You stop explaining yourself. You stop chasing things that aren't aligned with your future. You wake up with purpose. You move through the day with direction. You say no to things that don't fit. And you do it with peace, not guilt. But getting that kind of clarity isn't about reading a book or copying someone else's goals. It's about being honest with yourself. It's about asking hard questions. What kind of life do you want to live? What kind of person do you want to become? What do you want to build, experience, and leave behind? These aren't casual questions. These are the kind of questions that require silence, time, and truth. You can't answer them while scrolling your phone or rushing through your day. You have to sit with them. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to admit what's been missing, what's been ignored, and what you've been too afraid to commit to. Because the truth is, being unsure can sometimes feel safe. If you don't decide, you can't fail. If you don't choose, you can't be judged. If you don't aim for something, you can't miss. But that's not safety, that's self-sabotage, and it comes with a cost. The cost is your growth. The cost is your progress. The cost is your future. There is a moment in life where you have to say, I've been passive long enough, I've been waiting long enough, I've been drifting long enough. And then you choose, not perfectly, not knowing every step, but knowing what matters to you, and starting from there. You don't need to figure out your entire future in one sitting. That's where people get overwhelmed. What you need is to decide the next clear goal you want to pursue. Maybe it's building a strong daily routine. Maybe it's creating financial stability. Maybe it's improving your health. Maybe it's learning a skill. Whatever it is, get specific, be honest, be clear, and write it down, because when it's written down, it's no longer a thought. It becomes a plan, a direction, a target, and when you have a target, your brain starts to focus, your time starts to organize, your energy begins to align. The people who make real progress aren't smarter than everyone else, they're just more clear. They know where they're going, so they don't get lost in distractions. They don't entertain drama. They don't doubt themselves every day. They move, they act, they adjust when needed, but they never stop aiming. You can't build a better life if you're unsure what that life even looks like. You can't work hard for a dream that keeps changing every week. That kind of inconsistency kills your drive. You need something solid, something that matters to you, something that makes you feel alive when you think about it. And once you've decided, protect that decision, because life will test it, people will question it, distractions will tempt you to change it. But if your decision is real, if it came from deep within you, you'll stay with it. You'll protect it like your future depends on it, because it does. You'll stop caring what others think. You'll stop comparing your journey to someone else's. You'll stop looking for signs and start creating results. You'll stop talking so much about what you plan to do and actually do it. And yes, doubt will still visit you. You'll still have moments where you feel lost. But the difference is, now you have a direction. Now you have something solid to come back to. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Not perfection, not constant motivation, just clarity, just commitment. Some of you have been waiting years to make a real decision. You've been stuck between two paths, torn between comfort and growth, and it's time to stop waiting, because every day you stay unsure, you lose time, you lose energy, you lose the opportunity to become who you were meant to be. So decide, even if it's messy, even if you're scared, even if you don't know every detail yet. Decide what you want your life to feel like. Decide what habits belong in that life. Decide what kind of people deserve to be around you. Decide what success means to you, not based on society, but based on your values. Because until you decide, nothing changes. You stay busy, but you don't move forward. You stay tired, but never fulfilled. You work hard, but feel disconnected. That's what happens when there's no direction. Your effort goes in circles instead of forward. And this isn't about being in control of everything. Life will always have uncertainties, but your job is to make the one thing certain, your decision, what you want, what you're committed to, what you're willing to work for, even when it's hard. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, ask yourself this: what do I really want? Not what sounds good, not what others expect, not what's safe, but what you truly want deep down. Write it down, say it out loud, and then live like you mean it. Because 2026 isn't waiting for anyone. Time will move with or without you. The question is, will you be in the same place a year from now, still unsure? Or will you look back knowing you finally decided, and everything started to change? This is your moment. Don't waste it. Decide now.
Chapter 3. Let go of people who never show up. One of the hardest lessons in life is realizing that not everyone you care about is meant to go where you're going. It's a painful truth, but it's one you can't ignore if you truly want to grow. You can't keep holding on to people who consistently choose not to show up, not just physically but emotionally, mentally, and with real support. If someone keeps choosing distance, silence, or excuses, then that's their decision. But your decision has to be whether or not you continue allowing that energy in your life. You've got goals. You've got standards. You have a future to build. And you can't keep dragging people who don't even want to walk beside you. It's not about being cold. It's not about being unkind. It's about being honest with yourself. There are people who only come around when it's convenient, people who disappear when things get real, people who are always too busy to check in, too distracted to notice you're struggling, too self-absorbed to ask how you're doing without expecting something in return. And for too long you've been making space for them. You've lowered your expectations. You've ignored the patterns. You've made excuses for their absence. But at some point you have to stop pretending that effort from your side is enough for both of you, because it isn't. Healthy relationships, real friendships, honest connections, they go both ways. There's respect, there's consistency, there's presence. Not perfection, but presence. Not flawless communication, but real support. And if someone refuses to meet you halfway, you don't need to carry the full weight of that relationship anymore. You're not responsible for someone else's lack of effort. You're not here to chase people. You're not here to convince anyone of your value. If they don't see it, it's not your job to beg for it. Some of you have been emotionally drained for years because of this. You've held on to people hoping they'd change. You've tolerated silence and distance thinking it would get better. You've watched them show up for everyone but you and still gave them one more chance. But every time you lower your standards to keep someone around, you lose a piece of yourself. Letting go doesn't mean you hate them. It means you finally love yourself enough to choose peace over inconsistency. It means you stop settling for being an option when you've always treated them like a priority. It means you accept that not everyone deserves front row access to your life. You need people who are solid. People who check on you even when you don't ask. People who show up not just when you're winning, but when you're quiet, when you're tired, when you're unsure. People who don't disappear when you need encouragement. If someone keeps breaking your trust, breaking your peace, breaking their word, then what are you really holding on to? It's not easy, I know, especially when there's history, when you've shared moments, memories and time, but don't confuse time spent with value given. Just because someone's been around for years doesn't mean they've helped you grow. And just because they were there in the past doesn't mean they belong in your future. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to stop reaching out. Stop over-explaining. Stop apologizing for your standards. Let the silence speak. Let the distance form. If they care, they'll notice. If they value you, they'll return. If not, you just gave yourself a gift: clarity. You've got to ask yourself some honest questions. When was the last time they showed up for you without needing something in return? When was the last time you felt seen, heard and respected in that connection? Are you always the one initiating, checking in, making plans, keeping it alive? And if you stop today, would the relationship even survive? There comes a time in your life when you can't afford to keep giving energy to what gives you nothing back. You've got goals to reach. You've got peace to protect. You've got a mindset to develop. And that means guarding your space with seriousness. Because the people around you shape your attitude, your drive, your habits and your future. You become like the ones you surround yourself with. If they're negative, you start feeling drained. If they're lazy, you start losing your fire. If they're inconsistent, you start doubting your worth. This is why you need to stop choosing history over growth, familiarity over progress, attachment over self-respect. Some relationships have expired, but you're still trying to keep them fresh. You're watering dead plants. You're waiting for change from people who've shown you over and over that they don't care enough to show up. Stop doing that to yourself. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better. People who believe in your goals. People who tell you the truth and stand by you in the hard seasons. People who don't need reminders to care. These are the people who give you energy. not confusion. Presence, not silence. Action, not empty promises. Letting go makes room for what's real. It opens the door for new connections that actually nourish your soul. It teaches you that your time and presence are valuable. And once you fully embrace that, you won't settle for halfway connections ever again. Don't let fear keep you stuck. Don't hold on just because you're afraid of being alone. Loneliness isn't healed by people who leave you feeling invisible. You deserve more than that. You deserve to feel supported. You deserve to feel appreciated. You deserve people who show up, not when it's convenient, but when it's necessary. You are not hard to love. You are not too much. You're just too real for people who aren't ready to match your depth. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to stay. Not everyone can handle your growth. Some people preferred the older version of you, the one who didn't have boundaries, the one who said yes to everything, the one who accepted less. But that version of you is gone. And the new you doesn't chase energy that disappears every time life gets uncomfortable. From this point forward, only make room for people who make room for you. Stop explaining your worth. Stop hoping they'll change. Stop expecting different results from the same old patterns. This isn't about cutting people off out of anger. It's about choosing yourself without guilt. It's about protecting your peace like your future depends on it, because it does. You don't owe anyone your energy. If they've shown you they don't value it, you don't need to fight for space in someone's life when you're already creating a life full of meaning. Focus on that. Build that. And trust that the right people will meet you there, not just with words but with action. And when you do that, something powerful happens. You stop begging. You stop waiting. You stop doubting. You stand firm in who you are. And that kind of strength will not only transform your relationships, it'll transform your entire life. So let go. Not with anger, not with bitterness, but with clarity, with peace, with full acceptance that your energy is too valuable to be spent on people who never show up. And once you finally walk away from what's been holding you back, you'll see how much lighter life becomes. Chapter 4. Start building habits you can actually stick with. If you want to change your life, you need to start with your habits. Not the big promises, not the intense plans, not the motivational highs, but the simple things you do every single day. Real transformation doesn't come from doing something once in a while. It comes from creating systems that you can actually live with, consistently, without burnout, without drama, and without quitting after 2 weeks. Most people fail to build new habits because they overdo it on day one. They try to change everything at once. They go from doing nothing to trying to be perfect. But perfection is not sustainable. It's not human. What works is building habits that make sense for your life right now, habits you can live with even when you're tired, even when you're busy, even when motivation is gone. The goal isn't to impress anyone. The goal is to make progress you can repeat, because that's how real growth happens. You do something so many times that it becomes part of you. You no longer have to force it. You just do it, because that's who you are now. But it starts with being honest about what you can actually commit to. It's better to walk 10 minutes every day than to go to the gym once and never return. It's better to write 1 sentence every morning than to set a goal to write a book in a weekend and burn out before page 1. The small actions might feel too basic, but they build discipline. They shape identity. They create momentum. If you're not proud of how you're spending your time, then it's time to redesign it. Look at your day, not your month, not your year, your day, how you start it, how you end it, where your focus goes, where your energy is leaking, because your habits are just a reflection of your priorities. And if your priorities are unclear, your habits will be inconsistent. You need structure, not restriction. You need patterns that support your energy, not punish it. You need to stop following someone else's routine and start creating your own. A system that matches your goals, your reality, your rhythm. That's where success begins. The key is to stop chasing intensity and start building consistency. You don't need to do everything. You need to do a few things well. Every day, over and over. That's how you win. Start by choosing just one thing. One habit that you know will move your life forward. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be clear. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's putting your phone down at night. Maybe it's drinking more water, writing your to-do list, or stretching for 5 minutes. Whatever it is, keep it small enough that you can't make excuses. Small enough that it becomes automatic. Track it, measure it, repeat it, until it sticks. Then add one more. You're not trying to change your life in one leap. You're trying to design your days so well that change becomes inevitable. Most people underestimate how far they can go by just staying consistent for a few months. They think change has to be dramatic. But real results come from boring discipline. Quiet work, the kind that no one claps for, but that transforms you from the inside out. Habits are not just actions, they are agreements. You're telling yourself, this matters. I choose this every day, no matter what. And the more often you follow through, the more your brain starts to trust you. That's how confidence is built. That's how belief grows. It's not built through hype. It's built through showing up when it's not exciting. When no one's watching, when your mood says no, but your commitment says yes. And that's the turning point. When you stop negotiating with yourself. When you stop starting over. When you stop giving up every time things get uncomfortable. If you want to create habits that last, you need to make them obvious, simple, and meaningful. You need reminders in your environment. You need triggers that push you into action. If your goal is to read more, put the book on your pillow. If your goal is to journal, keep the notebook on your desk. If your goal is to work out, lay your clothes out the night before. Make it easier to begin. Don't rely on willpower. Build systems that support your intentions, and you have to be patient. You have to give your brain time to adjust. You don't get results in 3 days. You don't feel different overnight. But if you stay with it, something starts to shift. Your identity catches up to your actions. You no longer say, I'm trying. You say, this is what I do. There's no need to rush. You're not in competition with anyone. This is your life, your schedule, your growth. Go at your pace, but go with purpose. And don't judge yourself for slipping. You will have off days. You will miss a step. That doesn't mean you start over. It means you get back on track. Quickly, without guilt, without shame. Because consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means commitment. This is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. Repeatedly. Until it becomes second nature. Until it becomes who you are. So ask yourself, what habits would change your life if you stuck with them for 6 months? What small daily actions would make you feel stronger, sharper, more focused? Start there. Choose 3 habits. Break them down into daily steps. Schedule them. Anchor them to something you already do. And then start today. Not next week. Not next month. Today. When you stop waiting for the perfect moment and start building habits that fit your real life, you gain power. You gain stability. You stop swinging between extremes. You start trusting yourself again. And you begin to realize something important. You don't need more motivation. You need better systems. You need clarity. You need actions that match your goals, not just your emotions. The person you want to become is not built in one big move. They're built by the small things you do again and again. Even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. Build those habits. Build that future. And make it something you can actually live with. Not just talk about. Because the habits that last are the ones that make you better without breaking you. Start now.
Chapter 5. Take one risk that scares you right now. There is something you've been thinking about for a long time. Something sitting at the edge of your mind. Something you keep telling yourself you'll do when you're ready. But you're not moving. You're waiting. And deep down, you know exactly what it is. It's that one risk that keeps coming back to you. That one move you haven't made yet. It scares you. It makes your heart race. And that's the exact reason you need to do it. You don't grow by staying safe. You don't become better by repeating the same steps over and over again. Comfort doesn't stretch you. Routine doesn't build courage. What changes you is the moment you do the thing that scares you and realize you survived it. You showed up, you acted, and you grew because of it. Fear always shows up when you're about to level up. It's not a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're right where you need to be. That fear you feel isn't the problem. It's what you do with it that matters. Most people feel it and freeze. They think fear is a stop sign. But fear isn't there to block you. It's there to ask you one question: how much do you really want this? Playing it safe might keep you from failing, but it will also keep you from succeeding. Playing it safe might keep you from getting hurt, but it will also keep you from getting strong. You can't build a better life if you keep avoiding what makes you nervous. You can't discover what you're capable of if you never leave the zone you've outgrown. There's always going to be a reason to wait. You'll never have perfect timing. You'll never feel 100% ready. But that's the point. Growth comes from doing it before you feel ready. Success doesn't wait for you to feel confident. Confidence comes after you take the leap, not before. Every person who did something meaningful started with doubt in their chest. But they moved anyway. They showed up even with shaky hands and an uncertain mind. You can't train courage without risk. You can't develop belief in yourself if you always avoid uncertainty. The only way to build it is by putting yourself in a situation where belief is required. You rise when you step into the unknown, not because it's safe, but because you trust yourself to handle it. You might fail, you might stumble, but that's not what breaks you. What breaks you is staying frozen and letting fear make your decisions for you. That's what leaves you stuck. That's what kills your momentum. Because every time you back down from a risk, you teach your brain that fear gets the final say. And every time you step toward fear, you teach your brain that you're in charge now. You don't need to take a massive leap. You just need to do one thing that makes you uncomfortable today. One thing that pushes your limits. Maybe it's applying for something you don't feel qualified for. Maybe it's starting a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's posting that idea online, sending that message, making that phone call, signing up for that class. You know what it is. It's been there for weeks, for months, for years. That one risk is a doorway, and everything you want is on the other side of it. But you'll never get there if you keep finding reasons to wait. Fear loves excuses. It loves logic. It sounds smart when it says, "Now's not the time." But the truth is, you've already waited long enough. If not now, when you feel more confident, that day won't come unless you build it. And the way you build it is by acting today.
There is someone out there right now doing the exact thing you've been afraid to do. And they're not better than you. They're not smarter or more gifted. They just stopped letting fear run the show. They took the chance.